Juan.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
Good, doing well.
Thank you for coming on the show.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
I was reading your bio, and you are a veteran.
That I am.
Thank you.
That you
Thank you.
are more than welcome. I wouldn't have done it any other way.
No, that's right. So, as we start off the show, I say my rant, um, and then I get into talking with you if that's okay.
That's fine. Let
Thank.
me let me hear your rant.
I tried to stay on the right side, but some things just get on your nerves. Just do. Period.
I hear you.
So, my rant today, though, is about. Um, I know that we've been through a pandemic. I know everybody's been locked down. I know we all just want to breathe. I know that. But the way some of us are breathing is impeding on others. Um, it's the same way when we grieve, you all. We grieve, and yes, others share our grief with us, but we cannot, infringe on others to feel like we feel. We are all unique. We are all separate. We have different thoughts and different ways that we do things. And that's no disrespect to anyone. It's just who we are. That's why we're so interesting because we're all different and we were made that way. So my rant is just let people live the way they can and how they can. Because if you don't feel like I feel, it's okay. It really is. It's okay. It's how I feel. It's what I want to do. It's the way I believe. And I don't want to be critiqued on it and told it's not right because maybe it's not right in your standards or the way you live, but that's because you're different from me. That's the bottom line. We were all brought up in our own ways. We have our own family history. And if you look at everybody's history, even though we might have some similarities, we are different. We have our own issues. Lord knows I have mine. And I have many flaws and I deal with them, but I don't impede them on others. It's the way I feel. I wish that a lot of people would just think about it for a minute. And I'm not trying to tell you how to act, how to talk, how to walk. No. What I'm saying is talk your way, walk your way. Just don't get mad on me because I don't walk your way or talk your way. I'm entitled to that. It's my life and it's your life. So please, we all are trying to hang in there. We all are at this point. There are so many issues and so many things that we have to deal with in the world and even in our own communities and neighborhoods. So we just want to all get along. Thank you. All right, Juan.
I hope we stay in that vein.
I do too. I really do.
I mean our conversation tonight. I hope
Oh,
we stay in that vein because I sure would like to help and elaborate and speak on your rant.
you can. You can say whatever you feel like saying. Seriously. And I want to hear your rant later.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I honestly, you're all up and down my road.
Am I?
Yes. I don't know how much we've talked you know about me, but I wrote a book called Love Made Simple.
Yeah, I was reading that in your bio.
And that book speaks to exactly what you're talking about.
Really?
It talks about us being able to connect with one another and how it unifies us, but it also speaks about our uniqueness, our
Yes.
originality, and
Yes.
that's what we're meant to. That's why we're here because we are an original.
Yes. So
And I
Let me introduce you before you get it. Let me let everybody know that you're Juan Lee. And you know what? I want you to take it from here. Tell them who you are.
well, thank you for having me again. My name is Juan Lee. I'm an author. I'm a transformational speaker. I'm a
Okay.
thought leader in the power of love. And I'm the founder and executive director of Clear Journey, a nonprofit that demonstrates love through education to empower young people to live a more successful life.
Wow. Love it. Said the magic words for me, young people. So what made you start the nonprofit?
Well, I mean, the nonprofit basically stemmed from my book I wrote, Love Made Simple. And
Okay.
it was basically a way in which we could demonstrate love, the practical applications of love to everyone. I mean, we struggle sometimes with understanding how love works and what
Yeah.
it is about love. And what the nonprofit was a way of being able to demonstrate it through practical applications. And so that was the premise behind it, was that we wanted to educate young people, and not only young people but all people that struggle with this thing called life. And so we implemented, our first program was the financial program. It's about life and money and how life and money come together. And we have other programs that we're going to be launching later on. But that was the signature one for us to launch off, because we felt that if you wanted to be able to reach your dreams, we need to be able to understand how to manage our money.
So what year did you start it?
In 2020.
Okay. And have you been I call that mentoring young people. So have you've been mentoring young people since 2020?
Well, no, that's what we do. Everything is online,
Oh,
and
it's
we do it
online.
online, but
Okay.
we do in person also. But we haven't had the opportunity because of 2020 and the
The pandemic. Yeah.
pandemic and things. So we're just now starting to get that ball rolling and getting out into the communities. But the fact of the matter is, we've been online, and that's where we've started our programs. We do this, the Life and Money program, once a quarter, and it's
Okay.
online. And basically you just plug in, and we share the financial literacy program with them.
Are you in Chicago?
No, actually I'm in Maryland.
Really?
Hmm.
All right. Always all your life?
I am originally from the DMV, we call it. I was born in Virginia, and I was raised in Maryland, and I left to go to the military, came right back home.
Okay. Okay. I am really excited to hear what you're doing with young people though. Can you tell us what made you go to the military?
Okay, that's the beginning of my story.
Okay.
I was uh I was 17 years old and was lost. I felt hopeless. Graduated from high school with, at that time, an undiagnosed learning disability. And I didn't know how I was going to survive. I was unprepared for life, and I didn't know where to turn. And I was got into the Air Force, and my life turned around. My attitude, my self-esteem, everything turned around, because I was able to begin to identify my gift, my talent, my abilities. Whereas that was something that was not helped, that was not taught, that when I was going through school.
Yeah.
I was being taught how to measure up, instead of finding my originality and my uniqueness.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So what did the army do to show you that?
Well, as much as I love the Army, I was in the Air Force. Uh, and
In
so
the Air Force. Okay.
and so um it began to show me myself. It began to show me who I was, what it was that I had to offer, and that I was important. I was necessary.
Yeah.
It was something that within the system that we apply in the military, and we understood that we were a part of something bigger than just ourselves. It didn't take long to realize that we needed one another. We could not do this thing
I know.
called defend the United States of America by ourselves. And that was the message that I needed to understand, that if I needed help, my brother, my sister, whoever was there with me, they were there to help and assist, because we all had the same mission, and that was to protect and preserve the United States of America.
Wow, that's powerful. So while you were there, did you think about writing the book, or when you got back?
Oh, look, writing the book was a 5 year ago thought processes. A book was nowhere near me. Me writing a book was as far as the East is from the West. I had no inkling or idea of ever thinking about writing a book. Um, it was my journey that I was to demonstrate or to share by writing the book. It was really my story and how I understood the similarities of what I learned in the military with life in it itself.
Life, right? I get that. So, were you inspired by being in the Navy, or were you, or did you feel that a story had to be told?
No, no. I'll be honest with you. There are many people that are in the military that don't recognize the similarities that we have with just the civilian life, in the sense of life in and of itself.
Yeah,
See, there is the thing that you had to to buy into in the military is sort of the same thing that you have to buy into in life, and that is that we're just a part of something that's bigger than ourselves.
right.
We're just a part. And once we realize that our fulfillment is in being the very best part of that bigger thing that we can be. And so when we begin to demonstrate that, we begin to be fulfilled in being our very best self. But it's in context with something that's bigger than ourselves. In
Yeah,
other words, when I'm doing my part to facilitate the success for the bigger picture, I'm fulfilled.
because you've done your part.
I've done my part to the max. I've maxed out. One of the things that I talk about in the process of sharing, we have a program. It's called self-awareness, and one of the things it is about, well, even if we talk about just the book is titled is Love Made Simple, and it's the guide to inner peace, contentment, and success. And contentment is that part of being able to be, you feel good about where you are while you striving to reach your potential.
So you
Meaning
saying
that
people feel good in the struggle, the
I,
journey, the
I, I'm
journey.
I'm feeling good about who I am. I'm not allowing myself to be compared to anybody, because I'm where I need to be right now as I press towards reaching my potential. I'm not going to be guilted into being something that I'm not, and I'm not going to be forced into something that I shouldn't be. I'm going to be content with where I am until I get to where I want to go, because I have the tools and that's going to help propel me to get to where I'm headed.
So where did you get the tools from?
Well, that was where love comes in. Love never fails. And it's the attitudes that I need to be able to walk through my journey with. The right attitude that gives me the proper perspective so that I can navigate this experience successfully.
So what I'm trying to get to is, if you're talking to an audience and you got some people in the audience who want that, they want what
Mhm,
you're talking about. We all do,
mhm.
but they somehow can't get there. And you're saying it's a thought process, basically.
It starts there.
So how do they get those thoughts to turn over to that positivity, that road, that happiness, that fulfillment? How do you
Well,
get
see, that's what I'm saying. Love was if we talk about it It's about being able to first off start to change your mindset. It starts with a mindset change. And the first thing you got to do is that you got to recognize. Remember when I told you earlier, I said I had to accept the fact that I needed help. I wanted help. When I was going through military, I really realized that I couldn't do this thing by myself.
Yeah.
That was a mindset shift, because we've been taught to think that we got to do it ourselves. By crook or hook, we got to make it happen. Nope. We've got to be able to know that we're not in this thing by ourselves. Success is not in a vacuum. We need one another. It's a mindset shift. And when you get to the point where you say, okay, where do I go to get the help? And that's where you begin to realize, hey, at whatever level, here's the thing, no matter where we are in our lives, we have value.
Yes.
We have value.
Yes.
Okay. The first thing that we have to know is that we have value. Identify our value, and it's not short, it's not small, it's where we are. And that's why it's important when I say it as it relates to where I am right now as being content. It's like I'm okay with knowing, as long as I'm aware of where I am. I know where I am. See, the problem that I had as I struggled through my academic career in high school or in school in general, it was that I didn't know that I had a learning disability. I was struggling, frustrated, because I didn't know. And here's the thing. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 37 years old.
Really?
After going into the military, spending 9 years in the military, coming out, getting married, coming out, and working in a manufacturing company. And before I was diagnosed with a learning disability, because here's the point. In spite of not knowing, I had to realize that I needed help. In spite of not knowing. See, I didn't necessarily know what was causing me to trip me up, but I knew I needed help.
Yeah.
And it was the attitude that allowed me to reach out and get the help eventually, even knowing I didn't even know what I didn't know. But here's what I'm saying. When I was in the military, I had this learning disability. They didn't diagnose it. It wasn't diagnosed. It took me a year to be able to be fully vested in the military, where I was fully in there, where I could serve my country without worrying about getting discharged because I didn't meet the standard.
Wow.
Took me a year, because there was one test that I took. It took me a year to pass, but I never gave up. I endured. I persevered. One of the attitudes was tenacity, never give up. And that's the kind of mindset that you got to have if you're wanting to be able to meet that goal, to reach that. All I wanted to do was to be in the Air Force.
Yeah.
That was my goal. And that was one test that they said, and I'm telling you, it took me a year to pass that test.
So, and okay, so and you tie that all in with love. So, are you talking about love for humanity, or are you talking about love for yourself, or
Here's
both?
the thing. Here's the thing. The love for humanity, the first thing that you have to do is you got to love yourself.
Right.
Okay. What it does is, if you put the attitudes of love that I promote and I teach, that you begin to develop yourself. There's three parts to this self-awareness: is that you know self, accept self, and you develop self. And those attitudes, when you begin to address them, and the first one of them, and I'll share this, the first attitude is sacrifice. To be able to accept the fact that you've got to be willing to give of yourself to be able to allow people to help you. You've
Humble
got to be willing to, huh?
Humble yourself.
That's number two. You've got to accept help. You got to be willing to humble yourself and acknowledge the fact that you need help. See, I could have walked around and said, I don't need no help, and no, I can't do it. I can't do it, but yet won't accept the fact that won't accept any help. That's just pride.
That is. That is.
That's just pride.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that until you realize that we're meant here. See, I'm gonna tell you, the one thing that makes anybody feel good is to be needed.
Yes.
And if you go to somebody and say, I need your help, oh boy, they stick their chest out.
True.
They'll stick their chest out. They'll
True.
bend over backwards. If they can help you,
They
they
can.
will help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? But it's only when you're willing to compromise or sacrifice and come to them with that ability to say, this is what I have to offer. I can offer myself. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. When I say it took me a year to pass that test,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. To this day, I don't know how I passed that test. But the one thing that everybody knew is that I was not going to give up. I gave them everything I had to let them know that I wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave them no attitude, no thought that I didn't want to do what I was there to do, in spite of what I didn't know I was struggling with.
So, what do you think make people like they if they get rejected once or twice they give up? What do you think that comes from? Does that come from not loving yourself, or does that to you, in your opinion, or does that come
Ultimately,
from? Go ahead.
ultimately, it's from not loving yourself. Okay, because see, until you can love yourself, you see what people are going to do is be able to aid and assist when you are aware of who you are. See, if you don't know what you have to offer, you align yourself with people that are contrary to who you are. And as a result, you find yourself being combative. And they're not going to aid you or add to you. They're going to try to compare you.
Yeah.
And so until you know yourself, see, it wasn't until I knew who I was when I could tell you that I have a learning disability. I was ashamed of that.
Mm.
I was ashamed of it. I spent my life trying to hide it. And
Yeah.
I would do whatever it took to hide it. If it meant I would have to be combative, what I used to do, to be honest with you, I became a jokester, trying to keep the attention away from
A
myself.
defense mechanism. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what does loving yourself look like to you? What does
It,
that
it
mean? Because I hear a lot of people say that, but never saying what does that look like? Like what? Going on vacation or buying a new coat or what does loving yourself mean?
here is the gist of it, and it's in again the title of the book. When you have inner peace, contentment with your needs being met, that's loving yourself. When you've been able to apply those things, when you have the clarity that you need to be able to navigate life without the threat of people being able to persuade you in a negative way, to be able to influence you into doing things that are contrary to what you've determined is your outcome to be. See, that's what it means to have peace on the inside. See, this peace is based on what's on the inside of you. It's about building yourself so that you can navigate without the challenges, or without the you're going to have the challenges, but without being moved or swayed by those challenges.
Yeah.
You're gonna take a little bit of a hit here and there. You're gonna sway, but it's the navigation, the ability to be able to navigate it and be successful in that process.
That's loving yourself.
That's the beginning part of beginning to love yourself. So because here's the fourth component of that process of self-development or self-awareness, is that once you've been able to know yourself, accept yourself, develop yourself, then you're able to give yourself. You're able to give that
Freely.
uniqueness to others. And so in the process of doing that, oh, you're confident. You come to any situation knowing that you have something to offer.
Yeah.
It's a confidence that no one can touch. It almost, I be honest with you, it can borderline on being cocky in times,
I
because
agree.
it's that type of confidence. It's like this. This is what it is. This is
I know
this
who
is
I
who I am, and this is what I have to offer, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. So here we are to this part. What is your rant?
Excuse me.
What is your rant? What do you want to rant about? What don't you like about something?
Oh, here's the thing, that we're divided. We're divided. I want us, and when I say us, I'm talking about humanity, to understand that division is the way of conquering. If we want to be conquered as a society, as a human race, then we need to not allow ourselves to be divided. We focus on things that divide us rather than things that we have in common. And here's the point. We have humanity in common. If we can find ourselves to accept that what we have in common instead of what that divides us, and focus on that, then we will have a chance to protect and preserve humanity. And that means that for all of us, we begin to invest into it for the next generation, to give them a head start, to give them the things that are necessary so that they can then begin to invest into humanity.
How do we get we now you know hard headed people just like I do.
Mhm.
So some of them in my family.
Mhm.
How do I get them to not? They're even divided within my family sometimes. So getting the world to not be divided is a whole different animal, right?
Oh, and you know what? It's like the same way you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. It's only take, here's the thing. You start with self and then you begin to demonstrate.
Right, right.
That's what I'm saying. When you know yourself, when you can accept yourself and develop yourself, boy, you begin to carry on a whole different attitude when you begin to give yourself, because you're not intimidated. Yes, there are going to be people that are going to be resistant to you. But the fact of the matter is that the key word with this thing is consistency.
Right.
We walk in, see, it's not what we are, it's who we are.
It's who we are. Yeah.
Okay. And what we, who we are. No, let's rephrase that. It's not who we are, it's what we are. Because it is indeed, you can't change what we are. We are, this is, I'm a human just like you.
Yeah.
And I want you to be successful as much as I want to be successful. And here's the thing. I can't be successful because my fulfillment comes from you. Here's my point. You've offered me an opportunity to be on your show today. I have a message. I have something that I want to share, and you've allowed me to give me your platform to share my message. I can't do it without you. I don't have a platform. I'm thankful and appreciative of the fact that you've offered me the opportunity to share my message on your platform. I need you to bring me fulfillment. My fulfillment is the ability to share my message.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what,
it.
if we begin to think like that, to see value in everybody, you know, there's no one that is in this thing called life in a vacuum.
That's right.
We need one another.
We need each other more than ever.
Absolutely.
More than ever. Yeah. So tell us where we can buy your book. Tell us, do you have a website too?
Oh, I have all kinds of things.
Well, tell us all the stuff so we can just go find you and buy stuff and look you up.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, is you can go to clearjourney.org. That's the nonprofit where you can see the resources and the programs that we have,
Okay.
and we want you to be engaged with that. You can also connect to my website, my author website, which is called juanleetheauthor.com, and you can purchase an ebook on there, or you can go directly to Amazon and buy the book Love Made Simple there also. but I'm on all of the social media. I'm on Juan Lee on Facebook. I'm Juan Lee, the author, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm at Love Made Simple. And I'm also on uh, Clubhouse. I'm on
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse also on
Okay.
Agape Love. I have a
Okay.
co-host on there with me, and
Okay.
so you can find me anywhere. You can see me, but just let me know, grab me, holler. Let me know that you're looking. And as a matter of fact, you can go to my Instagram page um, at Juan Lee, and I have a little program. It's called the three mistakes we make in living a more successful life. It's a freebie there. It's a little program there. The three things that we do to prevent us from living, the three mistakes to living a successful life.
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah. Yep.
I really appreciate you coming on the show. I really enjoyed your conversation. You make so much sense to me.
Well, I hope I make sense to a whole lot of people.
Me too. Me too. But I really do like when you said how we love ourselves. And it's not complicated. It's not this big question and this big answer. It's just as simple as knowing who you are and and owning it. Not being cocky, but but owning it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you begin to feel good about yourself, you demonstrate that.
It like passes out into the world, whoever is around you. Yeah, that aura feeling.
It is who you are, and there's no greater person to feel good about than yourself. No better person.
That's
You've
right.
got to feel good about yourself because it's how you present yourself.
True. True.
You don't have to be defensive. You can just be confident.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you. Well, you're welcome to come back on the show anytime you want to, because I enjoy our conversation.
Hey, I'm here whenever you need me. I'm here. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for Clear Journey. I'm looking for partners. People I want to engage. I know you all are working with young people up in the Chicago area. But again, we have these programs online. And if you can get them online, we'll have a program for them, a life and money program that we can demonstrate or we can share with them right here online.
I'm going to look into that. See who's interested.
Hey, I mean, because I tell you, if you want to be able to reach your dreams, you got to be able to finance them. And to be able to manage your money is how you
Manage your
do that.
money. Yes. Manage your money. That's the key right there.
Mm-hmm.
Juan, thank you again so much. I really
Hey, I
enjoyed our
appreciate you.
conversation.
Thank you for having me.